Joined on the broadcast by the grandson of the man himself, Prakash Ambedkar, president of the Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi, two-time Lok Sabha MP, now joins us on this broadcast. Mr. Ambedkar, when you heard this controversy play itself out, sparked by the comments made by Union Home Minister Amit Shah and the opposition's selective interpretation of a much longer speech, what really was going through your mind, and what do you make of the manner in which there is now this big fight between the BJP and the Congress about who loves Babasaheb more?
Let me put it across that both do not love Dr. Ambedkar, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. That has been the checkered history right from 1946, if I'm right, if I must say so. Because when the constitution was being framed, Congress had reservations regarding the reservation policy which Dr. Ambedkar advocated in the Constitution, and then which he wanted in the draft constitution also. BJP on the RSS on the other hand, and the Hindu Mahasabha, and as well as the Sadhu Santa organization, they had problem with the constitution, with the parliamentary democracy on one side. Second is granting of women the right, and third is bringing the OBCs and Dalits and Adivasis on the par with the upper caste. So these were controversies where during Dr. Ambedkar's lifetime. Therefore, to say that both are now propagating Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar's philosophy, I would say is out of context.
The fact is, while Ambedkar ji was alive, both the RSS and the Congress, led at that time by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and even Mahatma Gandhi, had different issues with the positions that he took. But what do you make of their efforts now to appropriate the legacy of Babasaheb Ambedkar, saying, the Prime Minister also saying, we believe in what Ambedkar said in his vision for India 100%. Between the two, you're saying, okay, so neither loved him, but who hated him less? In a relative scale, in your perspective, between the BJP and the Congress, or the Hindu Mahasabha and the RSS and the Congress, who hated Babasaheb lesser?
I don't think both of them, there's any degree of hatred, in the sense that you can measure it and say, yes, they were on the side of Babasaheb and the little more than the other one.
So who was on the side of Babasaheb more than the other one?
Let me put across. Both wanted the hegemony of the upper caste to remain as it is, and that Babasaheb tried to destroy it by the constitution, by adopting principles which were based on liberty, equality and fraternity. And therefore both were equally opposed to each other, both were equally opposed to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar.
Who disliked him less?
But the masses had taken the situation in their control, and therefore the masses were with Babasaheb Ambedkar during those periods, and therefore they couldn't do much about it. And therefore today what we see is that one nation, one election is another way of saying, of bringing about the dictatorship in this country.
We spoke earlier about what happened when Ambedkar ji was alive, about who was closer to him. If you were to be asked the question about today, in terms of their policies and their positions, who is trying to stand for the kind of India that Ambedkar ji envisioned as his grandson, what would your take on that be?
I would give you one example. He wanted the economic policy of this country to be part of the constitution, which he laid down later, in the states and minorities, where he divided economy into three parts. One, he said, where the nation, one economy which is the nation lifeline should be in the hands of the government. The second is the state's autonomy has to remain, therefore some sectors have to remain, and the rest should be in the private sector. Today what we are finding, the lifeline of the country, economy, is now being privatized. Do we say we follow the policy of Dr. Ambedkar? The war has changed. Today it's not the sword that is ruling, it is the pen that is ruling. Therefore, invading each other economy is a way of ruling the world.
Okay, you've had your say. Prakash Ambedkar, grandson of
Is this
Babasaheb.
policy being followed by both the parties?
Sure, I hear what you're saying. You're sounding equally frustrated and disappointed with both national parties and the kind of positions that you've taken. You're saying it's at odds with the vision that Ambedkar ji had for India. Thank you very much,
Thanks a lot.
Prakash Ambedkar, for joining us. Appreciate this.
Thank you. Bye-bye.